I'm Caitlin E, and welcome to the Lit Review. It is my favorite thing to film, and sometimes the only thing I film in a given month if I'm really stressed out. But that is October's LitLand. Oh, hello, my ring light. Hi. You can tell it's getting late in the day because my ring light gets more aggressive as I go. But this is my TBR game that was originally based off of Candyland, but has grown so much more since, where I get to pick 5 squares or 5 cards every month and make my way across the board based on genre. And at the end, if I'm very good, I get a book haul. And at this point, I've kind of changed up how I do my book hauls, but essentially I can buy books during this time, but I just basically rob myself of money for that book haul by doing it. So the core essence of the game has stayed the same, and this is how I do my TBR every month, so let's get into it. Quickly, I want to say thank you to the 2 people that are constant inspirations for me when it comes to my TBR game, and that is Becca from Becca and the Books and Cody from Cody's Book Corner. They're still my favorite TBR games to watch every single month, and they're the reason I made my own. I will be participating in a couple of readathons this month, so I'll try to slate things in as I go, but I am going to participate in the Trick or Treat-a-thon that takes place all October long, and I am Team Magic. I have been selected for Team Magic, and I'm very excited about it. Our team captain is Heather from Bell's Library, and she also does a TBR game, so go check her out. I will link her down below. And then there's like a weekend readathon that is right up my alley, and that is the Paranormal Romance Readathon, hosted by remarkably Lisa, Jess from Peace Love Books XO, and Lacey Book Lovers. So those are the folks who host it, and it's happening from the 8th through the 10th, so like super soon. And I am hoping I can pull some romance so that I can figure that out. I've been making my way through the Buzzwordathon, and this month it is something to do with elements. So anything to do with fire, air, water, and earth, and there's a lot of different ways that you can apply that in the title. On the other side of the spectrum, where it's all about the cover and not so much the title, is the Book Covered Book Club. That is my book club, and our theme for the month is teal. So I'm going to try to fit in something with a bit of teal on the cover and see how that goes. Just things I'm trying to do this month. I don't know why I keep trying to pile things on when I get overwhelmed and then stop filming, but here we are. But still, happy spooky season, friends. Like, I got my little ghosty earrings on for this. I know I am wearing a top with oranges on it, but it is still like 86 degrees here in Southern California, so you make do with what you can. Anyway. Oh, I should also check in with you to see if I have to take any punishments this month, and I do. I did finish most of the stuff on my list, but I do have some rollovers too, and 1 DNF. I'll get into all of that during my September wrap-up, but I will be taking a punishment because I very aggressively DNF'd Chilling Effect by Valerie Valdez. This was one of my rollover books, so I kind of can't escape this anymore, DNFing it and taking punishment this month. And then I had to return this one to the library, but I did read and finish A Gentleman's Guide to Murder by Christopher Huang. And then I also finished these 3 babies. So the Tea Dragon Society by Kay O'Neill. I want to address this because my edition still has the author's former name, Katie, but they go by Kay now. So just correcting that while I can. I did finish A Lesson in Thorns by Sierra Simone, and Real... I also had to return this one to the library, but I did read and finish I Believe in a Thing Called Love by Maureen Gu. So I do have 2 rollovers. I try to give myself some rollover time and space, but if I don't finish these books in October, I will have to take a punishment in November. So let's hope. So I have to roll over 5 Dark Fates by Kendare Blake, and The Subtweet by Vivek Shraya. So these 2 are going to be part of my October, whether I like it or not. So we do have some rollovers there and 1 punishment. So let's pull that first and just see where the rest of this thing takes us. All right, as always, really quick rundown of the board. Here we have our cards from last month, and yellow was our last one, which is why Wilbur is right there, our little piglet friend who's on this adventure with us. So I'm going to put these here. with our used cards. There's also a smaller pile of used cards right there that are either challenges, troll cards, stuck squares, whatever they may be. And here's our big deck for this adventure of LitLand. And then, of course, all those things I just mentioned. Pink cards are our challenges. Our green are either stuck squares or punishments. And then our little troll bridge deck, where if I land on a rainbow or want to cross a bridge, I have to potentially troll myself with a troll bridge pick. So I know we're starting out with a punishment, and let's pull that first. Oh boy. Second chance for a low-rated book. Oh, this one burns. This one burns real bad. This is second chance for a low-rated book. Okay. In the last year or so, you've definitely been on some highs and lows with me. You've seen some really impassioned DNFs. You've seen me go on rants and tirades when I rate something pretty low. But honestly, so far in 2021, I haven't rated a book 1 star or 1.5 star. I've just DNF'd them if they're not my vibe. I have gotten some 2 or 2.5 star ratings this year, but I went back when I pulled this through my archive of Goodreads, and I really am trying to read a bunch of spooky season books. So I tried to find a low-rated book that would fit that prompt. So at some point in my Goodreads life, I rated Dead Witch Walking by Kim Harrison 1 star. Which is saying something for me, because I really don't do that very often, as I just said. So I don't have this book. I am going to order it from my library and hope that I have improved my feelings on this, and I will give it a second chance. There are some books deep in my Goodreads shelves since I've been on this platform for so long that I was really a different reader when I started using Goodreads. So there's always the potential that some of my early low ratings could surprise me, or I could change my mind on them, which is, why this prompt exists. So maybe my opinion will change and maybe it won't, but I have to finish that book, so I'll let you know how it goes. Okay. Blue times 2. 1, 2. LitLand's already throwing hands today. Okay, so we have a blue times 2, which is 2 nonfiction books for the amount that I progress. So I'm going to kind of take a mixed bag approach to this. There's a couple of nonfiction books that I've been really wanting to prioritize, so I'm definitely going to pick one of those. Let me think about that. And then I do kind of want to try to fit in something that's spooky. All right, so one of the books that I have been wanting to prioritize, it actually came from my priority shelf bag here. You only ever see this little nubbin of it, but it extends the entire length of my desk. And it's books that I'm trying to be good about reading. I try to pull at least one of my books from the priority shelf every month. And that is Algorithms of Oppression, How Search Engines Reinforce Racism by Sophia Umoja Noble. And she is a professor at UCLA, or at least she was when she wrote this book. And it is exactly what the subheading talks about. It is how our algorithm searches really learn and then reinforce racism as a point of fact. And so the system of oppression that we're living in, the system of things that we're living in, really does reinforce those negative systems. And so this is a really important work to my mind as part of my long-term journey of anti-racism reading. And it's also a more academic-y book, which I've been kind of feeling I want to give that a go again lately. So while the subject matter is going to be really intense and well-researched, it's only 186 pages if I exclude the notes, of which there are many. Now, I will still be reading through the notes because I think that's part of the journey you take when you do a nonfiction piece like this. But really, really looking forward to this. I hear nothing but good things from those who have read it, and just kind of want to bring attention to it and take this beat to do some more reading on the subject. So, book number 1 for my nonfiction picks. The other one, just to kind of do something a little bit more frivolous and silly and spooky season-esque, because I am a seasonal reader. I kind of wish I was strong enough to get beyond my seasonal reading because I really love this genre all the time, but you know, I am who I am, and I'm a seasonal reader. So I found this little like memoir bit of nonfiction called Witch Please by Sonia Lazo, and it has a much heftier subheading. It is, looking at my phone here, magical musings on life, love, and owning your power. And the writer's from El Salvador. This is her debut book, and it looks really cute. I found it on my local library, and it just seems like a good thing to read for the season, so I'm gonna go for it. Again, I'm Team Magic for Trick or Treat-a-thon, so I'm trying to get like some witch things sprinkled in through my TBR as much as possible. Okay, so that was pull number 2. On to pull number 3. Oh, okay. Purple times 2. 1, 2. Okay, so I'm sorry, it just squeaked really hard. That is a purple times 2 card, which means 2 miscellaneous books are added to my TBR. So miscellaneous is really what it sounds like. It's my catch-all category, like thrillers, classics, literary fiction, graphic novels, like poetry, anything that is not opaquely stated in any of my genre cards is up for fair game. So there are a couple of things that I actually either just checked out from the library or just got in September that I think would actually be really perfect for this. So as much as I am scared about the way LitLand is headed this month, I'm actually very excited for what I think I'm going to pick this month. Let's talk about it. So the first is what I grabbed for my book club, the Book Covered Book Club, because I was looking for teal on the cover, and when I was browsing my library recently, I picked up Macbeth by William Shakespeare. There's very clearly some teal on this cover, and it's been a really long time since I've read a play, and specifically a William Shakespeare play, so I'm really looking forward to this. It also felt very appropriate for spooky season because witches, murder, mayhem, betrayal, eerie, moody Scotland. Like it fits the mood. It understood the assignment, even though it was written far before the assignment was. So I'm excited to give this one another go. This will be a reread for me. I have read Macbeth before, but I think the last time I did was in college. So I'm looking forward to re-engaging with my literature minor and getting some Shakespeare on the list. And then the next one I'm so giddy about doing. I've already posted about this book on my Instagram, but that is Garlic and the Vampire by Bree Paulson. I pre-ordered this, and so it came in just in time for me to slide this onto my TBR. This is Bree's first traditionally published graphic novel, but she is also the writer and artist behind Patrick the Vampire, her webcomic that she's been doing for years. And this is a story about Garlic, who is a little skittish, a little nervous, but she lives in this cute little vegetable village, and the villagers get really nervous and afraid when a vampire potentially moves in to the mysterious castle, like not too far away from the village. And so they convince Garlic that she has to go and face down this vampire and keep the village safe. So she has to face her own self-doubt, her own fear and insecurities to try to tackle this situation for her friends and her village. It just sounds so cute and wholesome, and I really just love the like eeriness but also the cuteness of Bree's art style, and it feels perfect for October or just fall in general. So I am so excited to give this a go. And you know, it's a nice, easy little read. I can probably finish this in an evening, and it'll just be a nice little spooky palette cleanser, but on point for the season. So, all right, we're moving right along here, even though we have so much to add to our TBRs. It's fine. Pull number 4. Oh. Okay. Well, we're going on a trip. All the way back down here, where fantasy and sci-fi is. Cool. This is rude. I was so close. I I didn't want to say anything before, but it's so close. So close to the end and getting a book haul. And we going way the hell and gone back to fantasy and sci-fi. It hurts. I also have to pull a challenge card because this the pink square is for challenges. So as much as I'm able, I am going to try to find something that fits the challenge, but also the genre. So let's go. Flick. Okay, so audiobook. Listen, I am not a huge audiobook listener by nature. I also prefer to read a lot of my fantasy and sci-fi in paperback or ebook. So this is actually a huge hurdle for me. This is a huge challenge. And an audiobook. I'm going to have to try my local library for this because I don't own audiobooks. Let's see what I can do. Okay, so I found something that's kind of in the realm of sci-fi. That is going to be Riot Baby by Tochi Onyebuchi. So it's a sci-fi novella, which is also part of my reason for picking it, because I've got already, including my rollovers, 7 books to read with my punishment. So I wanted something a little short, but it's written by a Nigerian American author whose name I've already mentioned. Ella, our main character, can kind of sense things, or more or less has visions of a future that hasn't come to pass yet. So she sees things like classmates and their future careers, or less than kind things like a neighbor's son who's going to get murdered by a drive-by shooting. And so things that just haven't happened yet. And so her older brother is really determined to protect her at any cost. But Kev, her brother, gets incarcerated, and Ella has to decide what it means to honestly deal with the prison industrial complex and holding this ability that she has in her hands without her care and love and protection from her older brother. I really love the phrase that comes from the summary. It's rooted in the hope that can live in anger. And again, I'm reading this from my phone, but the description says, it burns fearlessly towards revolution and has quietly devastating things to say about love, fury, and the Black American experience. That just sounds so interesting and profound to me. So I'm sign me up. I'm happy to add that to my TBR. I'm also really happy to add something short and compelling to my TBR because I think that's going to help me move through the volume of books that I am trying to get through this month. That was definitely a curveball, and I'm less than stoked that we're moving all the way back to fantasy and sci-fi. But you play the hand you're dealt, so to speak, in LitLand. One more, poll number 5. And last but not least, wow, all right. Cool, so at least I have a choice. All right, I can either go 1, 2 here, or I can go 1, 2. Feels like I should just go here, like that makes sense. All right, well, this is where we'll pick up next time. Cool. So outside of a challenge and a punishment, it's all doubles. We are at orange times 2. And orange is actually my sci-fi and fantasy square, or my color. So we'll be reading some more sci-fi. This should be pretty easy, actually. I was just going through so much of my sci-fi TBR, or my fantasy TBR, for the last one. So let me see what I actually own physically so I can read some physical books this month. All right, I'm back. My first selection for sci-fi and fantasy is going to be Every Heart a Doorway by Seanan McGuire, which is perfect because this is also a gift from a subscriber, Sarah, who sent me this after LitLand was heartless to me in January. So Sarah, you're still coming in clutch with this, even though it is now October. And this is actually part of my Read My Rainbow reading challenge that I've got on that is all about LGBTQIA+ stories. So I'm happy to take another one off of that as well. Plus, even though this doesn't exactly look super spooky or seasonally appropriate, I think the whole portal fantasy of this series by Seanan McGuire is going to be perfect for this because there's a lot of like eerie, spooky mysteriousness around the overall series. I've never read any of these books before, but I hear nothing but good things about them. Plus, tiny, and at this point I'm just trying to survive this month, so this feels like a good idea. So overall, what I understand of the series is that there's like a home for children who, all of these children have variously gone through different portals that are like worlds that suit them uniquely, and these are, for whatever reason, these children have been booted or left their lands, their fantasy spaces. And so this home for children kind of takes them in and helps them recover from that experience, or recover as best they can. Some of them are just desperate to find their way back. And this book, I believe, follows Nancy, who's the new arrival at this home. This is going to be a great fit for this month's TBR. And then my final selection for the month is one that I've been really hoping to get to for a while now, and it just makes sense for this month, but that's We Ride Upon Styx by Quan Barry. So I think this could also probably work for Teal for Litland a little bit if I wanted to sneak another one in there. But this is like witch adjacent, or like witch themed, even though it's a contemporary. So in the town of Danvers, Massachusetts, home of the original 1692 witch trials, this is set in the 80s now, like 1989, as the Danvers Falcons will do anything to make it to the state finals, even if that means tapping into some devilishly dark powers. So this is like, the 1980s backdrop sounds fantastic, but also like the intense competition that the different players are in. So this has the potential to be kind of eerie and spooky, but the back also describes it as a comic tour de force. So I think it'll be like lighthearted spooky, which honestly sounds like a great way to round out this TBR. I've got some more like heavy or cute spooky, I've got funny spooky, I've got mysterious and eerie. I feel like we're hitting a lot of the notes right now, so I'm glad to check this out. Finally, this work from Quan Barry. Okay, so when I hold it up like this, it doesn't look that intimidating, but you should also consider that I have 2 rollover books to add to this. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus my audiobook, Riot Baby, plus the book that hasn't come in yet from the library that I just ordered, Dead Witch Walking, plus the nonfiction that I'm gonna do via ebook. So I have 10 books that I'm trying to read this month. We also got set massively back in Litland this month. Yeah, it was a wild ride this month, as it usually is in Litland. So we're gonna be here for a while together. But hopefully my torture was fun for you this month. I do, as always, think that even when this game is mean to me, that I have really good picks in this stack. It's just a matter of actually getting to them. So I'm going to try to prioritize my rollover books so that I don't have to take any punishments next month. But we'll see how it goes. Thank you for spending time with me. I hope you have a fantastic reading day. Like and subscribe if you'd like to see more from me or this channel. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.